Hello everybody, this is Tim here again for another movie review, this time for David Lynch's Lost Highway. Now, this is an interesting one. Also, sorry if you see that light in the background. I'll try to stand in the way of it. Yeah, this is a pretty good a pretty good angle. But yeah, David Lynch's Lost Highway. This is an interesting one. It came out, I believe, 1997. It stars Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, and a bunch of other actors that you will probably recognize. Now, with David Lynch, anybody who knows anything about David Lynch knows that he is an extremely artsy type, weird filmmaker with a lot of interest in noir type stuff and all just different elements of almost like foreign cinema type style. But yeah, it's very just like non-explainable type shit. But this movie especially, this movie got like bad reviews when it came out by critics because of non-linear like storytelling. Critics are okay with like art house type movies, but when they get so art house to the point where the storyline is just like really is to the point where it's just specifically created so you can come up with any conclusion you want, then they get pissed off because then it's just like its own thing entirely. And it's just total dream logic, which is exactly what this film is. There is no like 100% through line here at all. This movie offers up different ideas and different things for what it could be going on in it. But it's done 100% from the angle of pure dream logic with Bill Pullman's character, Patricia Arquette, as his wife. And she's real hot in this movie. She gets naked multiple times. But yeah, it's just like he's married to his wife, and you can tell he's kind of suspicious about her wanting to stay home alone and all that. He's like a jazz player, or a saxophone player or whatever. And I think it's like a jazz band though. But he goes off and like plays. He calls the house. He doesn't get no answer. He wonders where she's at. He comes home. It's like this really horror, like dream logic type thing, where this other creepy ass pale faced white dude or whatever shows up. It's just real creepy. He's like, I'm at your house, and he like calls the phone. And he's like, "Hey, I'm at your house," and when he's talking to the dude straight in front of him, so you get the idea that this dude is probably Bill Pullman too, and that maybe it's just like in his mind, and because you get the idea that this dude, like Bill Pullman's character states right off the bat, he has selective memory, which means that he picks and chooses what he wants to remember and how he wants to remember it. So you get the idea that throughout the movie, it's like all the different like selective memory things that he's came up with, like colliding in his brain, plus all the real stuff that actually happened. And pretty much he gets arrested for the murder of his wife. He gets put like in a holding cell, and then he transforms like physically into this other younger dude. And I will say this is when the movie started to lose me a little bit, not because it was like too out there or whatever, because I watched a lot of artsy stuff, so I knew what I was getting into with this, and I know what David Lynch's reputation is. But it was only because the actor who played the younger guy, he did a good job. But at the same time, no, he wasn't as captivating on the screen as Bill Pullman. But I did warm up to him after a while. And of course, if you've seen a lot of movies, or especially a lot of art house stuff, you start racking your brain around where the hell is this going and what's going on here. You got multiple options here. Either A, this teenage boy character is like his real form, and he supernaturally did transform into Bill Pullman, and it's going into like a real realm of horror and supernatural, like fully. And he fell in love with another woman who looked identical to Patricia Arquette, who the teenage guy we also see is in love with in the movie as well, another like version of Patricia Arquette, or they're like the same person, and one of them is the real person, and the other one is like the facade, the made-up character, and but we don't know which one's the made-up one or not, and that's pretty much what the movie goes with. You can pick and choose whether or not the real guy is Bill Pullman, and he's pretending to be this teenage dude, and it's just all in his head, or the real guy's the teenage dude, and he's just like pretending to be Bill Pullman, or it's totally supernatural and he actually is transforming. But you also get the idea that the pasty face, like white dude or whatever, is also a part of Bill Pullman's like inner personality and shit. Just another part of like his selective memory and another version of himself in his mind that he just makes up, to cope with all the crazy shit that happened in his life. But you get like the point of view of him as the teenage dude or whatever, and he's like falling in love with this another version of Patricia Arquette, this time with blonde hair. And you get the idea in the movie, it's like this, she's like the unobtainable woman, she's beautiful, but she's like being controlled by this mob gangster type dude who's forcing her to like be in pornos and shit. But she, even though part of her doesn't want to do it and didn't want to do it, that she kind of just loves the attention, that she just grows to, love the attention of it or whatever, and being in it, and all the attention she's getting from this dude. And it's like you got Bill Pullman who shows up. I mean, not Bill Pullman, but the teenage dude who shows up. And it's like they fall in love, but at the same time, he's got like this other black-haired girl who's his girlfriend, and she's kind of pointless in the movie. You didn't really need her. I recognize the actress though. I've seen her before in some other movies, but she was just kind of pointless. And get Gary Busey here as like the dude's dad or whatever, which was kind of funny. But and you got a lot of like cool stuff on the soundtrack here: Rammstein, Marilyn Manson, Nine Inch Nails, really cool shit. Sometimes the soundtrack overdoes it just a little bit with the Rammstein towards the end, but I still loved hearing it. But yeah, so he's like falling in love with the Patricia Arquette character, and she gets him to like kill this dude played by, I believe, Michael Massey or Massey. I think it's the dude from The Crow who was like one of the guys in The Crow. I think he played Fun Boy. I believe it's him. He's also in Tales from the Hood. He's a good actor. I think he passed away recently, or not too long ago, which is kind of sad. But I always liked this dude. But yeah, he's here as like this porn like dude or maker or whatever with this pencil thin like mustache and shit. And so the dude, the teenage guy, shows up and kills him, and Patricia Arquette and him like team up. They leave, and then they go to like this place where we're supposed to be meeting this fence who's supposed to like make money off the jewelry and stuff that Patricia Arquette stole off Michael Massey or whatever his last name is, I forget his character, and but they get there and there's like no one there, and then they have sex again. A lot of sex scenes in this with Patricia Arquette naked. A plus. She's real hot. She's always pretty much been hot to me. But yeah, you get another sex scene. Then the dude like transforms back into Bill Pullman, and then the pasty faced dude shows up again, and he's like, "Do you even know who the fuck you are?" which kind of made me laugh because it is like, you know, who is he? Is he the teenage dude, or is he Bill Pullman, or is he both? Is it supernatural? It can be whatever you want it to be, really. And then he like goes, like leaves and runs off in his car, and he goes like to his house, and he's like on the talking to like the speaker thing on outside to himself from the who's in the inside. So that tells you right there that certain things in this movie, because this guy has selective memory, is operating by 100% dream logic. So there's no like linear narrative in this whatsoever, even from an art house movie perspective. There's no pure like metaphor perspective here. This not for everything anyway, because this whole movie is just 100% dream logic to the point where you can just honestly by the end pick and choose whatever you want the outcome of this movie to be. It really is like an art piece, just done by dream logic. So you get to the end and the cops just show up and start chasing after the dude or whatever, or chasing after Bill Pullman. And as he's like driving away, you get like this song playing by. And you get like his face like shaking and transforming into the young guy, as well as like staying as Bill Pullman. And it's like, you know, two people in the same body, so it's like which one is which one is the real guy. If you break the movie down, basically what you get from a base level is that one of these guys was real, fell in love with a Patricia Arquette character who was being forced to do pornos, but actually liked doing them because she liked the attention, and she was pretty much the wrong girl for this guy who he just fell in love with, and they ran off together. But she started going and seeing the dude that was getting her to do the stuff, the adult films, to begin with, and cheating on her husband, and he found out about it and killed them both. That's pretty much what the basic line here is of the through line of the movie. But it's up to you to decide which character is the real person, whether it's Bill Pullman or the younger dude. I think it's probably the younger dude, to be honest. I think what happened is pretty much what we see with the younger dude is what happened. And the whole Bill Pullman thing is just something he made up in his mind to create an alternate personality for himself. I don't even think that he ever actually went to jail, really, and that he was ever in there and then transformed into the young guy. I think that pretty much he was just like being chased by the law, and that most of the beginning of the movie, like with the first act, Bill Pullman is just all in his head, just some made-up fantasy world. But yeah, it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be that, this, or just purely supernatural. But for a film like this, it's 100% dream logic. I would have to give it a 3 out of 4. For what this is an artistic piece going by, once again, dream logic. I say that because there's certain things in this movie that are created specifically not to make sense and to be left up to the viewer for interpretation. So that's going to piss some people off. And some people aren't going to be into this. Like Roger Ebert said, nothing in this movie makes logical sense on any level. So this is just not a movie. So, and he's right. This really isn't a movie. It's more of just an artistic piece. But for me, movies are art. So I'm fine with that. Even as art house, this is really trippy even for an art house type thing. So yeah, for what it is, I would give this a 3 out of 4. I like this. I thought it was good. It's not great. It's not David Lynch's best work. But this is a good movie. for a Lynch film. If you know what you're getting into, and you're okay with like a dream logic type movie where it's made specifically to where you can draw your own conclusions, then yeah, I think you'll enjoy this. But if you're not into that kind of stuff, especially super trippy, like do not drop acid when you watch this, otherwise you may lose your mind. But yeah, if you're not into that type of film or type of filmmaking, then run for the hills, because this ain't for you. But yeah, this is a good movie for me on a personal level, personal taste level. So yeah, I enjoyed it. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again.